Hi, welcome back. I'm Professor Chris McCusker, and this is the Quarantine Management Institute, where we are learning to learn in new ways together. The topic of this episode concerns culture, which in an earlier episode we've simplified to be analyzed according to four basic concepts: beliefs, values, symbols, and patterns of interaction. Now, within any particular cultural group, there has to be a co-creation of culture. What I'd like to do here is just share some thoughts about what I think some of the beliefs, values, symbols, and patterns might be in a crisis situation like we're facing now with COVID-19. However, it's up to each cultural group to create and manage its own culture. And oftentimes there is an existing culture in place, and it might be a question of reinforcing things that are already there. Let's start with beliefs. Probably, in my experience studying crisis situations, probably we're all dealing with an incomplete pattern of information. The fact pattern is incomplete, and it's also evolving. So when it comes to our beliefs about what is true in this COVID-19 crisis, we have to recognize that what we thought was true a week ago might not be true today, and what we think is true today might not be true a week from now. So our beliefs are incomplete. We don't have all the information. Information is coming in, and it's evolving. When it comes to values, it seems to me that we should value the truth. As best as we can perceive it, we should value honesty. Honesty in terms of how we communicate, honesty in terms of admitting our own mistakes, but we should value honesty. We should also value cooperation. We should also value unity. When we think about what is good in a crisis situation, we should recognize unity, resilience, cooperation, and the truth, or honesty as best that we can, seem to be associated with successful managing of crises. So if you ask me, my recommendation it would be to place value on those things. When it comes to symbols, there's a lot of symbols here that we can think of, but any symbol that reinforces our values would be important. For example, here's a free symbol of a phoenix. A phoenix rising from the ashes. A phoenix rising from the ashes symbolizes our resilience and our ability to overcome challenges. Another symbol which might be helpful in this time of crisis could be a Gordian knot. Here's another example of a symbol, a Gordian knot, a free symbol that you can find something like this on the internet. A Gordian knot is a symbol of unity. Another symbol that might be important for us would be our flag, or a flag of a country anywhere in the world, something that symbolizes strength and unity and togetherness, that reinforces the values that might be important to emphasize in a crisis situation. When it comes to patterns of interaction, how do we relate to each other? We will examine this in further detail in another episode, but successful crisis management requires a leadership style which is autocratic. We need leaders to take charge. Scott Cowan, the president of Tulane University after Hurricane Katrina, said in thinking about what happened, in a crisis situation, if you're in a position of leadership, when you're in charge, you need to take charge. So leaders have to be autocratic. That might be hard for some people to stomach, but it is an appropriate style of leadership during a crisis. The other thing is cooperation. The red team versus the blue team, the blame game, all of those things that divide us have to be stopped. It's not a good time to debate politics or religion or big societal issues. We have to come together. So the patterns of interaction that, in my view, become more important in a crisis situation are autocratic leadership and cooperation between members of a cultural group. Culture is something that we create, and in a crisis situation, we need to create beliefs, values, symbols, and patterns that are going to enable us to succeed and get through the crisis in a healthy and safe way.